We have started recording, and I'm going to look something up and play it for you. Some of you might have heard this before, but I think it's a good way to get started.
So if you want to make six figures, you can't just be talking about you want to make six figures. You hear what I'm saying to you tonight? If you do the three things I tell you to do tonight, I guarantee you, whatever it is you want to do in life, you'll be able to do. You will be able to accomplish whatever you want to academically, financially, relationally, whatever. So three things. All right, I'm going to tell you the story. I got to get out of here. And the story is about, you guys have probably heard about this before. It was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He's like, the beach? I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he's like, this guy crazy. He's like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't have to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he's crazy. He said, come on out a little further. He came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This child is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answer the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than lift. What's that word? Said I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you're trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you got to be willing to give up sleep.
All right. I think that video right there really, when I watched it, I don't know, about 2 years ago, kind of changed my life, changed my perspective on the way I was going to do things. And then when I stumbled across this business, this is something I always come back to. And there's been a lot of things that I've had to sacrifice since I started with DS Domination, and there's been a lot of things that I've had to sacrifice to be successful. But without further ado, I will get into my presentation now that we're all in the right mindset. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because it's kind of hard to actually read on here. I'm going to put the question and answer section on my Facebook page. So Q&A for FSN Business Fundamentals webinar. Everybody see that? Perfect. All right. So, without further ado, I will get into what I have for everybody tonight. Well, actually, there's going to be a few friend requests that come through, so I'll get these real quick. Don't do more than 10 at a time. Good call. All right. So, DS Domination is a business. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that we do here in the business of DS Domination that don't that aren't necessarily taught from DS Domination. There's a lot of things that you have to kind of learn the hard way, and I tell people a lot of the things that I've learned. Let me mute this. Sorry, we're getting kind of a slow start here. Let me mute this other chat I have. There's a lot of things. We're taught how to sell on eBay. We're taught how to sell on Amazon. We're starting to learn how to trade. But there's a lot of things that we do in business and that aren't necessarily taught through the company. And a lot of the things that I've learned, I've had to go through to learn them. So I'm going to try and, I guess, share my lessons learned over the last 14 months of being in the business and to kind of get you guys going on the right track. So, some people have been in the business as long as I have, 14 months. And when I talk in the business, I'm talking about e-commerce, not necessarily network marketing, but being in the business of e-commerce for the last 14 months. Some people are going to take different things from this, depending on how long you've been in. But I want you to view it as if you're going to do all these things in the future. Like if you just got started today, these are things that you might not implement for another 4 months, but they're going to be things that you're going to probably need to implement at some level in the future. So that's kind of how you need to view this. And if you're where I am and you've had a lot of success and you're looking at ways to kind of grow your business, you'll be able to apply some of these things immediately. But there's all sorts of little tips and tricks that are going to free your time in this. And so who am I? David Cook. For those of you who don't know me, haven't met me, I live in Eastern North Carolina. I am active duty military right now. I'll be in for about another year and a half. I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, but I've never really had a vehicle to do it with, and that's what DS Domination allowed me to do, is to start to grow an income online using DS Domination. And it showed me what I was going to do in the future, because I had no idea. I knew I wanted to open my own business. I knew I wanted to work for myself, but I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And DS Domination allowed me to do that. There were some things that I knew from my education. I have a degree in accounting. So I have a little bit of business background, but I've never actually used that. So this allowed me to use my business background, my business education, and apply it to something that I really loved. And that thing is the online marketplace. So as it says there, I was able to kind of quickly grow my business because of a lot of things that I'll talk about tonight. And I got it up to about $3,000 a month within 5 months, and now I make more than I do at my full-time job, which is just crazy. I tell people that at work, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. Nobody believes me, but it's 100% true, and it's completely changed my life. So why DX Domination? The biggest thing that separates us from everyone else out there, all the other network marketing companies, is that we're leveraging kind of pre-established businesses, the multi-billion-dollar companies that are already established, already have a huge following. We're just getting a slice of that. And the cool thing about it is that no matter what happens to DS Domination, what happens to the group that we're with, the FSN, what happens to that? We're not going anywhere for a long time, I can tell you that, but we can survive without the company based on the things that the company teaches. We don't need the company to be successful. You have to recruit. There's no recruiting requirement. You have to recruit one soul to make $1 million online, which feeds into the fact that there's there's unlimited income potential. Whatever you dream up in your mind is what you can make. There's a lot of people that, like, when I got into this business, I had the idea that I was going to make $200 or $300 a month and just basically pay for my golf membership or whatever I was going to use it for. I just needed a little bit of extra money. But seeing some other people and how well they were doing with the business allowed me to really see the potential, and then I went out and did the things that I needed to start to set myself up for time freedom down the road, which is ultimately my goal to work for myself. So go out here, make sure. All right. So there's a number of things that go into treating it like a business. Treating DS Domination like a business is tough because a lot of people they get into it as a hobby like I did, but there's a lot of things you can do to treat it like a business, and there's 3 main things, in my opinion. Your reputation, your attitude, and your vision for where your business wants to go. And I'll explain all of these in the next few slides. So your reputation is number 1. Never, ever, ever put enough importance on your reputation online, because this is going to be the lifeblood of your business. When people come to your store, they're going to want to do business with people that are established and trustworthy. And the way that you interact with customers and so forth is going to help you do that, build that trust in the marketplace. And over time, you might start with 0 feedback right now, but if you have 10 positive transactions and you get 10 positive feedbacks from your first 10 sales, right? A buyer that comes to your page is going to be 10 times more likely to do business with you because you've established that trust in the marketplace. One of the things I had to learn the hard way was not to be interested in the quick buck, right? If you do a large amount of transactions, you're always going to have issues with the sale. The item's going to get there and it's going to be damaged. You're going to have people that want refunds. You're going to have a lot of unhappy customers just based on maybe their item didn't get there in time or it was damaged, like I say. don't be so attached to the money that you get from a sale that you're like stingy with it to the point where you're not refunding customers when they deserve it. You have to put yourself in their shoes, and if you were to get that damaged item, what would you expect? Like even if you lose a little bit of money on that sale, but you keep that customer happy, in the long run, that's going to help your business way more than if you kept that $30 that you were thinking about refunding them or not, and you decide not to. You decide to keep that $30. That's going to hurt you down the line the more times you do that, because you're going to end up with unhappy customers. You're going to get negative feedbacks, which hurt your account way more than that $30 or however much it is worth. So keep that in mind. Don't get too attached to the money, because it's not your money. It's the customer's money that they gave you to complete a successful transaction. And if that transaction doesn't happen successfully, whether it's your fault or not, sometimes you need to kind of give a little bit and be willing to refund that customer. And as I'm going through this, if you guys have any questions, feel free to go to that Facebook page and post any questions. And one of the #1 ways you can keep customers happy is to keep a good inventory of your products, to keep your products in stock. So things fluctuate. The nature of our business, the major vulnerability of our business is out of stock items. And this is my opinion, but that's the vulnerability of my business, at least. So you have to continually check your inventories and make sure that your store is actually reflecting what you have in stock. And if you're not checking your inventories at least 3 or 4 times a week, when I say checking inventories, I'm saying like going into Amazon or going into some of the elite suppliers and just seeing that those things are still in stock, still at the price that you thought they were going to be, and so forth. You need to be checking that a lot. And then to transition to the affiliate side, a lot of us use Facebook. A lot of us, talk about this business if we're an affiliate to other people. And just keep in mind that the things that you post online and the things that you say online or say in person matter to other people, and they form the reputation of your business. So if you, post something about DS domination, and then the very next post you post something that's like way out of left field, and it goes against maybe like a societal norm, or it's like a hot topic, like I'm just throwing something out here, like a political driven post, and you're saying you're super Democratic or you're super Republican, and you think all these other people are stupid because they're not. That's going to alienate certain portions of your potential prospects online. So you notice a lot of businesses, they don't take stances on a lot of things. They just do business, they carry out their business day to day, and they don't kind of alienate themselves from large portions of their population. So remember that when you're posting things online, to always bring forth that professional attitude. All right, so this is absolutely directed towards people that are really getting started in this business. But when you first get in this business, you need to be like, this is new to a lot of us, so you have to be prepared for a couple months of just learning, like no result expectations at all. Like, you're going to see people that are posting that they're making $10,000 a month. And when you get in here, that might be discouraging if you're not there yet. But use that as motivation to get there. But do the things that is necessary to get there. So if you see somebody making that amount of money and you want to make that amount of money, there's things that they did. There's like probably 8 or 9 months of hard work that went into that, where they were making maybe $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or less. And they were just learning the business, and they were focused on the process, not the results. They were focused on the process, not the results. I'm going to say it again. They were focused on the process of learning, of showing up to trainings like this, taking notes, going through the DS Domination trainings time and time and time again, showing up to the live webinars, and they just took everything in. And then all of a sudden, they learned so much that their business couldn't help but grow because of their knowledge and the way that they treated their business. And if you do that and you get in here and you don't expect to make a ton of money your first month, but you just focus on the learning aspect, that's the common theme between everybody on my team that is successful, is that they're always learning. They're always hungry. They don't complain about things. They take everything in stride. So that's what I wanted to hit on attitude. And like I said, you're going to be the one that makes this work. It's not going to be your sponsor. It's not going to be anybody else in the group. It's not going to be the FSN Council. It's going to be you, because it's your business. And what that leads me to is your vision. So a lot of us get in this business because we want to create a different life for ourselves, right? And that vision in the future looks different than where we are now, or it should. So you need to be able to see yourself and vividly picture what the vision of your business looks like and where it's going to grow. And if you just started like yesterday or today, this is one of the first things you need to do, is come up with a vision for your business. What does your business look like 12 months from now? Because what does your business look like 12 months from now? Because there's a difference between your current circumstance and your vision, right? Eric Thomas always says his circumstance, when he was homeless, right? His circumstance was that he was homeless, but his vision was that he was a college graduate. And a lot of us are in that situation where we're in this circumstance, and maybe we're going paycheck to paycheck, or we're $10,000 in debt, right? Your circumstance is different than what your vision looks like. Your vision should be something like grandiose, like that is like barely attainable, and you're going to have to work your butt off to get. But that's your vision, and it's different than where you currently are. And you're going to have to do things between your circumstance and your vision to get there. So, like I said, what should your business look like? There's certain things you have to imagine, like what a CEO would have his business look like, and you need to implement things, which is what I'm going to talk about in the next few slides. So if this doesn't make complete sense right now, that's okay. But you need to imagine what your business looks like and act as if you are already there, and do the things that it's going to take to get your business to look like that. Without further ado, I actually wanted to stop the presentation here and bring out one of my team members. Let's see, where is he? There he is. All right. I'm going to bring him out here real quick. I wanted to bring up Nathaniel Smith. Nate joined my team about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and I'll tell you what, this guy, as far as the amount of like guts and just like drive to succeed and vision of where he wants to take himself, He has just absolutely dove in head first. He started to build a team. He's having you look through his Facebook wall, and he's always got something selling, like always. He's on eBay. He's on Amazon. He's making videos. But the thing that's always impressed me about Nate is his mindset, and that's why I wanted to bring him out and talk about this mindset portion of his business and the things that he's done to be able to grow his business. So, Nate, can you hear me?
Yes, Dave. Thank you.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm really great. I'm learning over here, man. Honestly, thank you for your leadership. And one thing that I've kind of noticed watching you and watching the other leaders in the FSN is friend these people if you're not Facebook friends with a lot of the people, because they leave little hints and trails along the way, and in addition to these awesome trainings too.
Yeah. There's a saying that success leaves clues. So, but yeah, man. I'm gonna let you just kind of take over for these few slides that you have, and whenever you want me to go to the next slide, just say it, and I'll go. So.
Okay, great. Yeah, great. So David was talking a little bit about having the mindset to be willing to learn. Especially as you get started, and that's one thing that I want to talk about, and talk specifically about one hurdle that I noticed from some new members that I encounter, and it was a hurdle that I had to get over too, that you go through your first 90 days. So you can go ahead and go, Dave. We'll get right into it here. But as you sign up for DSD, you've got to be willing to at least give it 90 days, at least 3 months. I started with a kind of a year plan, or a year's worth of goals in mind, and little milestones that I hope to achieve along the way. But you've got to give it at least 90 days. If you're new to eBay, if you're new to PayPal entirely, which I didn't have an eBay account in October when I started. I didn't have a PayPal account either, and what you learn is that PayPal will hold your funds for new users, and that can be kind of intimidating for people, because that requires you to, if you're using Amazon as your supplier, to pay for your items up front. Then, if you don't have credit immediately available to you, and that's daunting for some folks. But understand that sometimes it's about executing the process straight away, and then there's value to be found in that first 90 days as well. If you're listing items that are $35 or so, you can sell those for $55, $60 on eBay, and make a couple dollars, endure your PayPal hold, and most people I know can find a way to swing $35. But understand that you're gonna have to learn how to come up with a good listing, to have a competitive listing, and it can take that long to find your groove going in. Go ahead to the next slide, Dave.
Absolutely.
But practice makes perfect as you go along here. So yeah, don't let these PayPal holds bother you, because as long as you're holding up your end of the bargain as a seller and doing a lot of the things that David talked about as we got this training underway, upholding your reputation and treating your customers like you would want to be treated as your customer, PayPal is going to give you your money. You're never going to have to worry about whether or not PayPal will release those funds to you. And when you get a little email, it's kind of cool. You get this email that says PayPal's giving you your money, and then you feel good about it. Now I'm going to drop a little bit of a hint. One thing that I noticed that Roger does in his pro webinars is he always leaves a little elite nougat at the end. And if you can leverage your credit, if you have some credit available to you, if your credit's good enough that you can go out and get a business credit card that you use responsibly, strictly, and specifically for your business, that's going to benefit you. You can probably get by at the pro level without a business credit card, but as you advance into Elite, and especially as you get started selling on Amazon, which is the whole goal here, by the way. Nobody's getting rich selling on eBay. You need to go into this with the idea that you learn how to execute the process on eBay, and eventually the understanding is e-commerce and your wealth is built through selling on Amazon. But I digress a little bit. If you can leverage some credit, that's going to help you, particularly if you can earn a little bit of, lots of credit cards have some cashback opportunities. Just be willing to explore some of those if you're able to leverage your credit. And then understand, too, that there's a rhythm to selling on eBay in this process. Your items aren't going to all sell at once. In my experience, I sold, I think, 2 items in my first, few days, and then I didn't sell anything for a week. And then I sold an item, and then I didn't sell anything for a week. So I guess my point is if you maxed out your eBay inventory, which you should do as quickly as you can once you get up and going, you should max out your listings as quickly as possible, build up your inventory. But all that stuff's not going to sell at once. It is highly unlikely that you're going to be faced with having to supply hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of inventory. You're going to sell an item, it's going to be 30 or 40 bucks out of your pocket, and you're going to get 60 or 70 back. PayPal's going to give that money to you, in a week or two after you fulfill the transaction, and you're going to get your money. And so there's a rhythm to this that you'll be able to. It's easier to keep up, I think, than people think. So don't let the PayPal thing bother you too much. You need to have a long-term approach. The big reason why I was motivated to get into DS Domination was because I watched as David had success and as he grew, and I thought, if this guy's doing it, certainly I can do it too, but it's taken him this long. He's done these things along the way, and so find out what he's doing and then do those things and try and match that timeline as best I can. So that's been my goal. I've been at DSD for 6 months. It's my new career as far as I'm concerned. I've got a long-term vision that involves product sourcing and selling on Amazon. So hopefully that's a little bit of encouragement for you all tonight. I don't know that I have another slide beyond the PayPal holds thing, but that is a huge thing for some people as they get started, and I just don't want that to bother you all as you get going. So that's what I got, Dave.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate coming out and sharing that. So yeah, Nate is Nate shared some good stuff there. He's an upcoming leader in the business, definitely doing great things. So thanks again, buddy. All right. One thing I did want to hit. He said there are definitely people. A lot of people are saying stuff about eBay now, but there's definitely there's a ton of money to be made on eBay. Look at Jesse Singh's. Look at Jesse Singh's account. He did $800,000 in sales on eBay last year. So it's easier. It's a little easier to do on Amazon, and I'll talk about that a little later. It's easier to make. I think it's easier to make a lot of money on Amazon, but there is a ton of money to be made on PayPal or eBay. Just wanted to hit on that. So let's see. All right, the next part I'm going to talk about is the taxes. A lot of people get in the business and they're like, well, what do I do at the end of the year when there's taxes? And they start asking people, about like tax code and what they can write off and what they can't. And one thing to know is that nobody in the FSN is really qualified to teach anybody on taxes. I mean, some of us, I actually have an accounting degree. There's a few other people that are actually full-time accountants in the FSN, but everybody should plan on hiring a CPA, a certified public accountant, at some point, or really to do your taxes at the end of 2015. Because anybody that sticks around from now until doing taxes for in 2016 for your 2015 tax year, you're going to need a CPA to sort everything out for you. But they're the subject matter experts on this, and it's never too early to talk to them and get an idea of what you can write off, like what a small business looks like for taxes. And there's a lot of things that you can learn just from a 20 or 30-minute conversation with a CPA. And with that being said, don't just hire the first one. Not all of them are going to fit your business. So almost conduct it like an interview. I'd go out and talk to 2 or 3 of them, and see which ones kind of fit into your business. Maybe they have one has more small business experience than another, or maybe there's a CPA that's actually done taxes for somebody that works e-commerce before, and so they might have an understanding of all that. But the one thing you can do before you even talk to a CPA is save all of your receipts. So all your email orders from Amazon, your elite suppliers, save all those email orders in your email, like in a separate folder, so you have them at the end of the year for taxes. Like the way it's going to work is that if you make $100,000 in sales and it costs you $60,000 to buy all those products to fulfill those orders, your profit is 40 grand, and that's what you're going to be taxed on, is that 40 grand. But you have to be able to show proof of the orders, of the 60 grand in orders, or you're going to get taxed on the whole thing. You're going to get taxed on all 100 grand of sales. So you have to keep all your receipts from your orders so that you can prove that at the end of the year that you actually did order these things and fulfill these orders, so you can write them off. Some other things that are deductible: all your product upgrades, your fees for DS Domination, all those you can write off and deduct those from your total income at the end of the year. Your mileage. Let's say you go from your store and you go to Walmart, and you're looking, and like right when you walk into Walmart, for instance, normally they're displaying the things that are popular at the time. So just walk in and pay attention to those things. But more importantly, you can write off the mileage from your place, your house, to Walmart, and you can say that is like a research. Like you're doing product research to list things on eBay or Amazon, to get ideas to list things. Which goes to my point above it, that the tax system works favorably for small business owners. So all of you, since are now small business owners, you're part of DS Domination, there's a lot of things, and like I said, talk to a CPA about this, but there's a lot of things out there that just because you open a small business, things that you're already paying for, some of those are going to be deductible, like your internet each month, for instance. Some of that is going to be deductible because you need that internet to operate your business. Down the line, meals. If you're entertaining, like if you talk to somebody during a meal, you go out to Red Robin and you're eating a meal with somebody and you start talking about your business, a portion of that becomes tax deductible. All your office expenses, your computer, maybe you have to take your computer in to get repairs. That type of stuff is going to be deductible. But I just want to give you guys an idea of all the things that you can write off. And like I have a list of 6 things here. There's probably 60 things that I'm going to write off on my taxes this year. But talk to your CPA about this stuff and get an idea of what you can write off. All right. And for your business, so you have, like I was saying earlier, your circumstance. We're going to talk about scaling your business and growing your business. Your circumstance that you're in right now. Maybe you're at Pro paying your $20 a month, and you're making $200 or $300 a month. But you need to have that mindset that is not your circumstance that you're going to stay in. You're not going to always be at Pro. you want to get to Genesis and have that mindset of growth that there's certain steps that you're going to take to be able to upgrade to each level. The way I always teach it is to reinvest in your business and to take profits and set those aside to upgrade. Like the way I did it was as soon as I had like made 50% of the profits I needed to upgrade to the next level, I did it. So if I had made $50 at Pro, I upgraded to Elite. When I had made $250 at Elite, I upgraded to Monopoly. And then Unleashed, and then eventually Genesis. And for some people, that might be, you make $100 at Pro, and then you use that to upgrade to Elite. But continually take your profits, and don't go out and spend them on a new pair of shoes, but spend them and reinvest them in your business to help grow your business. Because that $100 that you invest in your business today is going to be worth $1,000, $2,000, $100,000 20 years from now, because of the steps that you take today to grow your business. And like there's a few other things down there. You can invest into. You can take. If you make $25 and selling on Amazon or eBay, you take the $25 and put it into a Craigslist ad and get 100 leads, and maybe out of those 100 leads, 3 of them turned into customers, or they turn into DS Domination members. And those 3 people, maybe one of them quits, but one of them goes all the way to Genesis, and you get like $1,300 in commissions from them. So that $25 ad that you invested in maybe gets you $1,300 in return. I have had that happen. I've found people on Craigslist that went all the way to Genesis, and they're absolutely crushing this business. So definitely take what you make here and scale your business and grow it in a fashion that will allow you to make even more money in the future. And Nate hit on this, but the use of credit as you grow your business is going to be absolutely essential. There's people that have gotten into this business, and if it's possible, but I'm just saying, being able to have some sort of credit to use your advantage and not having to dip into your own personal funds to fund your business is absolutely essential. All successful businesses leverage credit in some capacity. Apple probably didn't start with, they probably had some investors. I don't know the history of Apple, but most companies, when they start, they have some sort of investors that they're going to end up owing down the line, but they start their business with more money than they actually have to their name. And that's something I did. So I got into the business, and I dedicated a credit card specifically to DS Domination. And it had at the time it had a $5,000 credit limit. So I could buy $5,000 worth of product on that credit card and not blink an eye, because I knew I was going to get paid from PayPal, but I didn't have $5,000 in my bank account. So, like Nate said, this isn't going to happen. But if I had sold all $5,000 worth of product at one time, I would have been able to use my credit card to pay for all that, and then get paid from PayPal, and that $5,000 would turn into maybe $7,500 in sales and $2,500 in profit. And it's that $2,500 in profit was possible, and this is an example, but that $2,500 in profit was possible because of me leveraging credit to grow my business. And I think the absolute best way to utilize credit is just through a credit card. And like I said, get a credit card and dedicate it solely to your business. If you ask for one credit card and you get denied, ask for another one. Ask for a different one until you find one that's gonna work for you. And then further, when you get that credit card, continually ask for raises of your credit limit. So when I first got the main credit card that I used for my business, I had a $10,000 credit limit on there. But I called in and said, hey, you know, I expect to make this much money this year. I have this to play with. They did a little interview, and they raised my credit to $20,000. And these are all things that I did before I really needed that $20,000, but I knew down the line I would need it. So come Christmas time, I had $48,000 in credit that between a couple different credit cards that I could use to purchase items. And then when I did $93,000 in sales on Amazon and another, I think it was $7,000 or $8,000 in sales on eBay, when I did that $100,000 of sales in December, I had all that credit to use to make that. Now, if I had done $100,000 in sales and I was using my own personal funds to fund that, there's no way I could have extended myself over that period of time. But the fact that I had leverage credit to my advantage allowed me to go crazy and sell as much stuff as I wanted to over the December period. And I'll get into that a little later. That's just a little taste of what's to come as far as the holiday stuff that we're going to talk about a little later. So we're going to take a quick break, about just 3 or 4 minutes, and you get a drink of water. But I'd like to answer some questions before I go on. So if you have some, post them on my Facebook wall, and I will check it. And then we'll get back to it. There's still got a lot more content for you all, so hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. Guys, for some reason I can't see the questions on the GoToWebinar question page. So if you have them, please post them in the the post I put on my Facebook page. Keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. All right, I will start answering some questions here. Chris Leeper said, I didn't think we got taxed for this. You do get taxed. This is a small business. Anytime you earn money doing anything in America, you get taxed for it. There's probably some sort of like, if you make under $600 or something, I'm just throwing this out there, but I think it is actually $600. If you make under $600, I don't think you have to report it. But nobody on here wants to make under $600 this year, so just plan on reporting it for taxes this year. Hire a CPA to sort through the $100,000 that you guys made this year. So. International DSDers who can't use Craigslist to get leads, what alternatives do they have? I'm not super spun up on the affiliate portion of it, but you can do like solo ads. You can get leads through Facebook. You can get leads through Twitter. Marketing and putting your business out there on those social platforms. There's a lot of different ways you can get leads besides just Craigslist. So you can probably post that question in the FSN group, and you'll get a lot of good answers on that. As far as the credit card, business or personal, I don't really delineate between the two. I just the fact that it is a credit card. I don't know if the credit cards I have are either business or personal. They're just credit cards to me. So I would look into maybe the benefits that they get, like the sort of cash back and that, to see, if you spend $60,000 with your credit card throughout the year, if you can get 2% cash back instead of 1% cash back, that actually makes a pretty big difference over the course of the year. So, all right. So, you give it about 30 seconds for any more questions. All right, we will get back to it. Thanks for the feedback, guys. I'm glad you guys are getting some good good learning out of this. Carmen, as far as if you can't get a credit card, that's how I've been able to do it. I'm sure there's other ways. You can get maybe a small business loan. There's certain sites that will give out small business loans, and you can grow your business that way. Maybe they give you a loan for $3 or $4 grand, and you use that over a 6-month period. So that's one way to do it. Of course, you can use your personal funds to grow your business slowly. But I've just found that credit cards are the fastest way to kind of grow your business and have more money to your name than you actually have in your bank account. So. All right, bring back up the PowerPoint. And we're done with our break. So, people always ask me, how do I do it? I work full time. I don't have a lot of time to grow my business. But they see my numbers in sales and they're like, how do you have the time to do all this? And one of the things I did early in the business when I was educating myself and I was learning, I read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek. It's by Tim Ferriss. So everybody write that down. Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek. Go spend $12 on it on Amazon and read it. They talk about hiring people to help run your business. So there's all sorts of people out there that are looking for work online, and you can be the one to give that to them. If you don't like, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so you got to treat your business and run your business as a CEO would. As business owners, we're paid to think. We're not paid to do. I'm going to say it again because you guys might have missed it. But we're paid to think. We're paid to think and to grow our business. We're not paid to do. So by thinking, I mean like researching and researching products, finding products to list, writing emails and blogs and things like this that actually require our personal touch on it. And like nobody in this world can list on Amazon the way I can list on Amazon because I have my own twist on it, and I'm very good at it, and I've developed that skill set. And that's something that would be difficult to teach somebody to do. But there are all sorts of things in your business that are pretty mindless tasks, like checking inventory or doing bookkeeping. Those are all things that you have to do in your business, but they aren't necessarily things that any of us want to do. So one of the things I look for as I'm outsourcing and hiring help, and I'm going to show you the websites on where to find this stuff. So don't worry about that right now. But one of the things I look for when I'm gonna hire somebody is, let's see, go to the next slide. All right, here I'm presented with an activity. Let's say I'm presented with the activity up here at the top of the page. And the activity is the inventory. My inventory, going through and checking and seeing if my products are still in stock. The first thing I ask myself, will I enjoy this? No. Is it income generating? Yes, it is income generating because I have to do this to grow my business, right? To stay in business, I need to keep my inventory. I put, can it be outsourced? If it can be outsourced, then outsource it. Hire somebody to do it for $3 or $4 an hour. And if it can be outsourced, but I still have to do it to generate an income, I'm going to do it. But inventory, as an example, is something that that I can do. I'm presented with another activity, listing things on eBay. Will I enjoy this? I do actually enjoy that. So I'm going to put that on my action list of things to do for myself. Another thing, there's all sorts of things in our business that maybe we don't actually have to do. So I'm going to take an extreme example, but you're presented with an activity like watching television. Will I enjoy this? Yes, I might enjoy it, but I don't really need it. So I'm going to ask, is it income generating? No. Am I obligated to do it? No. I'm going to eliminate it from my daily tasks. So think about the things in your business that you have to do on a day-to-day basis and start outsourcing the things that can be done by somebody else, because that's going to allow you to think, which is what we're paid to do. We're not paid to do. We're paid to think. And this is how I view my business, and this is how I have it set up right now. I'm at the top, the CEO and the owner. I have 4 different people that work for me on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, really. I've got somebody that does my customer service. I've got somebody that does my bookkeeping. They built my website. They write blogs for me. I've got somebody that places my orders and inputs all my tracking numbers into my listings. And then I've got somebody that checks my inventory. So all these people work for me, and this is how I have Sales with David LLC set up, is that these 4 people work to me. They report to me every day, and they do the things in my business that I don't want to do, or that I don't have time to do. So I have somebody that does my customer service for me. They answer messages. They manage returns. They do all sorts of stuff that involves interaction with customers. I have somebody that does my bookkeeping. So all my sales that get put into GoDaddy.com, which is the website that I use for bookkeeping, are put in not by me. They're put in by somebody else that goes into Amazon.com and sees all the things that I've sold that month and just goes ahead and puts them in my my GoDaddy.com account where I keep all my bookkeeping and my accounting. I have somebody that actually places my orders for me. So, I get about 20 orders a day from my sales from Amazon and eBay. And this person is, they have my credit card information. They have my billing address. This didn't happen overnight. I had to kind of build up trust with this person to give that to them. I initially started them just tracking and putting in tracking numbers for my email addresses. But they built up enough trust where I trust them to do this now. But they go through and they place all the orders online for me. So, I don't do that anymore either. And then I have somebody that does my inventory for me. They go through twice a day and they check my inventory and see what things are in stock. If things are out of stock, they'll log into one of my accounts, Amazon or eBay, and take it down. So I don't have to worry about that. So this is how I have it set up. Everybody can have something set up. I plan to grow this where I have like an affiliate side too. Somebody that does some of my affiliate stuff for me, and there's going to be things that I continue to outsource. But this is where I am right now. So I'm actually going to get out of here real quick and see if there's any questions, because some of this So this is heavy stuff. It's good stuff. All right, communication. Let's see if I go through that in another slide. All right, so the question's about how I give these people my passwords and such. I just give it to them. So, you know, there's an interview process where I kind of sort through everybody and figure out who I can trust and who not, which a lot of us are pretty good judges of character. And here's the thing, 99% of the people that you're going to hire are going to be 100% honest. They're going to just want to work for you. And yeah, so they have my passwords into my my email accounts that I use for my business. I have email accounts that are specifically dedicated to my business. So they have my email account set. They don't have my email accounts to my personal email address. One of the things that is actually I actually know Rebecca because she's on one of my teammates' teams. Is one of the things on Amazon you can actually do. If you go to your settings on the top right corner, if you're an Amazon seller, you can go to user permissions. I might actually be able to log in. Yeah, I'm just log in. So you can go up here to settings. You can go to user permissions here on the right side, and that will, and here you can assign permissions to people to log into your account. So you can basically give them separate login info. Then so I have my account where I have access to like my my funds basically, but then within that I can assign permissions to people in my account where they only have access to maybe uploading tracking numbers or managing orders or messages or so forth. So you can actually just play around with that, and you can assign permissions within Amazon to different people. And eBay, they just have my login info for eBay. I don't give it to everybody, but the people that have built up some sort of rapport with me through doing other tasks, I've given that to them. So there's a level of trust you have to kind of extend to people, but in my opinion, the risk that something would go wrong is way it doesn't outweigh the gain that I get from being able to grow my business and create a 5-figure a month business by leveraging other people to do work for me. Because the fact is, if I didn't use these people, I wouldn't make nearly the amount of money I do online, because I've only got an hour or two a day to work on my business. So I have to use these people. Now, somebody that's brand new, that's just starting, yes, Rebecca, you can let them control over part of your account, not the whole thing. But when you're first starting, it took me 4 or 5 months before I actually hired somebody, and even then I did it before I really needed it. But I didn't want it to get to a point, my business to get to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore. So I wanted to have somebody that had been trained up and could handle it once my business did grow to the point where I actually needed them. And that's a common theme that I'll talk about a little later. So I've kind of already hit on this, but the who and the why. There's hundreds of people on Elance or Odesk that will work for you. So I'll actually log in to Elance and show you guys one of the posts that I put up. to like my very first post to get people to hire me. So elance.com or odesk.com, basically the same format. Some people prefer one or the other. I think they're both equally good, but I started using Elance, so I still use them. Let's see if I can do this. Find my original post. Here it is. Okay, so this was my original post, and do not use mine just because this is what I used. Everybody's going to have a different need, but basically I put it up. I put up a professional looking post so that I would draw professional people to my post. And once I did that, I had this, I put in basically what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody to manage inventories, do basic bookkeeping, and internet marketing. This person I hired actually only ended up doing my inventory and a little bit of customer service for me. And then she didn't work out, and I fired her, and I ended up going with somebody else. And that's another thing, is that you might not find the right person the very first person you hire, or you might, but I didn't give up on the process. So I put in here exactly what I'd want, that they'd start out at 5 hours a week and would eventually go up to 15 to 20. I put up what their responsibilities what might be. And I got all sorts of responses. I got somebody from India, I got people from the United States. And one of the cool things is you can look at their feedback. So you can see if they're established on Elance, if they've earned money, what jobs they've had. You can kind of look in to see what type of jobs they've had in the past. But I didn't look at anybody that didn't have a rating, because the type of stuff that I'd be trusting these people with, they had to be established to some degree. So basically anybody without a history, I kind of ignored. And this was probably somebody that I looked for. She had obviously earned a lot of money with a couple different jobs. She had a high rating. So you can kind of get to this. And then what I did is I narrowed it down to 3 people, and I interviewed those people via Skype or via phone call, because and then from there, I basically knew who I was going to hire. But you can narrow it down. One thing you can do, for an inventory thing, is you can put 3 things on a spreadsheet, 3 links, and these people you can kind of give them a test, like, all right, tell me which of these 3 things is out of stock. And half of people they'll just give you like a generic reply, and they won't actually answer your test. So those people are automatically out. And then maybe you only have 15 people who do your test, and maybe only 10 of them do it right. So those are your 10 candidates, and then you look at their profile and see which ones you like, and then you review them, and then you narrow it down to 1 person. But so that's kind of how my process for hiring people. That makes sense. Let's see what questions we have. You can hire people for, I'm looking at questions, you can hire people for, I mean, $3 an hour all the way up to, $15 an hour. I would advise, there's a lot of very, very good candidates for $3 an hour. So that's something to look at. And then with this, I talked about the interview process and kind of how I did it, but let's see what's next. So what do I pay them? I answered that. How do you pay them? You usually pay them through PayPal. And then the question about when I felt my business was out of my control, it never got to the point. I made sure it never got to that point where it was out of my control. I hired somebody before they were necessary, because when you hire somebody, it's going to take you a month or two to probably get them trained to the level that you want them to be. So you don't want to wait until all of a sudden you can't handle your business and then you're training somebody for a month or two. You want that person to be like fully trained and ready to go once your business gets to a point where it might have been out of your control. You want that person to be able to swoop in and kind of take over the things that you need them to and be already trained up. So you got to do it. My advice is to do it before you think it's necessary, because the thing is that you hiring them is going to allow you to do other things. No matter when you hire them, you're probably going to, one, have a better quality of life because you're not putting as much time into your business, and two, you're going to be able to focus on the bigger picture things that actually that actually create an income. Like checking inventory doesn't create an income. Listing products does create an income. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's refresh this, see if we have any more questions before I get into the next part. All right, so does anybody have any more questions on virtual assistants? I kind of went through that quick, but like I said, it's a trial and error thing. Not everybody is going to work for you initially. You're going to have to fire people probably. And another thing you have to realize is that, let's see, I'll go back to this slide. A lot of people ask me what if they can't do something as well as you? Well, they're probably not going to be able to do it as well as you do because it's your business and you understand it a lot better. But if they can do, and I keep going back into inventory, but if they can do inventory at like 90% capability of you, that's better than you spending 2 hours on it. If you can pay them $3 to do it and pay them $6 to, $6 for 2 hours of work, or $8 if they're so forth, that's better than you doing it yourself, because it allows you to focus on bigger picture things, and you can train them to a point where eventually they can do it as well as you. And sometimes these people are going to do it better than you do eventually. So all right. All right. So the wrap up. It is April 7th, and what I want to talk to you all about kind of wraps everything up. In what we're doing here. So it's April, but I'm telling you guys, it is not too early to start preparing for the fourth quarter of the year, October, November, and December, when everybody's spending money on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Your retail spending is going to increase so much in that period, and if you set yourself up properly, you're going to make a lot of sales. But kind of my story is that I was humming along last year. I started in January. I was doing all right. I was making $3 or $4 grand a month, which was good. I mean, I was happy with that. At that time, December came, and well, actually, it was like Black Friday, and my business just absolutely took off, and it almost happened by accident. I had a ton of products listed, but I had no idea that it was going to take off to the degree it did. And I had a couple hot products that sold like crazy throughout December. But I guess my point that I'm getting at is that my business took off, and it almost happened. I didn't expect it to. So there's a lot of things that I look back on from last year that I wish I had done differently, and I had prepared myself for better so I could make even more money then. But the good thing is that I've learned those things, and some of them I'm going to share with you tonight, is I learned those things over that period, and now when this year comes around, I'm going to be prepared for December, and you all are going to be prepared too, just by virtue of being on this webinar. So that's kind of my story, and I'm telling you, it's not too early to start preparing. You need to start thinking. You need to start thinking about the fourth quarter. So there's going to be huge money. There's going to be money on eBay, right? But it's a lot better if you can be selling on 2 different platforms. So there's going to be huge money on Monopoly, and there's going to be huge money on Genesis, and there's going to be huge money on like elite pro type selling on eBay. But what I'm getting across is that you don't want to get to like November and then decide you're going to upgrade to Monopoly, or November and you're like, oh, it's holiday season, so I'm going to upgrade to Genesis, right? You want to do that stuff now so that by the time November and October come along, you're an expert on Amazon and you're an expert on Elite and eBay and so forth. Because when you upgrade to our different levels in DS Domination, it takes a period of time to actually learn the system. Like Monopoly, for instance, takes about 90 days to actually like really take off. And it took me like 6 months probably to become an expert on Amazon. So you do the math, it's April right now. It's the 4th month of the year. 6 months from now, it's going to be October. So if you commit yourself to learning Monopoly over the next 6 months, by the time the 4th quarter comes, you're an expert and you're like ready for the holiday rush. The same thing with Genesis. Genesis, it's going to take you Genesis is one of the big things we do with Genesis is source products from China, and those products from China take a little bit of time to get here. So if you it's going to take about 2 months, a month or two to probably get your product from China. So if you decide in October, okay, I'm going to source my product from China, your product might not get here until like December 15th. And then all of a sudden, you've missed 40 days of like really hot selling for your product. So what I'm doing to prepare for this is I'm starting to order my Genesis products now so I can have at least 2 or 3 that I know are like really good selling products that I've gotten in from China, that are like ready to be sold in the holiday period. So what I'm trying to get across is that it's not too early to start thinking about this and preparing your business in a way that's going to make you a ton of money over the November and December time period. So that's the good thing about the holiday period, is that it's going to be very profitable for us. But the key thing is that the holiday season is going to expose every single strength and every single weakness in your business. There is no better indicator of the strength of your business than a lot of volume. Like if you do 100 sales in a period of a couple days, that's going to show how well you manage inventory, because how many of those things are actually going to be in stock if you get 100 orders. It's going to show, if you have the right products listed at the right profit margins. If you have maybe a customer service virtual assistant that's handling all this stuff, because out of those 100 orders, maybe 5 or 10 of them you have a problem with. And is that person trained in customer service, or are you going to have to do that over the time period? But you want your business to be like, you want to be on your A game at the end of the year. And the things that you do now, between now and then, are going to prepare you for that. So going down the list, your account health. You have to absolutely make sure that your accounts are healthy. If they're not now, you need to do things on both eBay and Amazon to get your account healthy over the next 4 or 5 months, so that when it comes time for the fourth quarter, your account is in good shape and it's ready to take a lot of volume. Your order management, what are your processes for order management? You have to make sure that you're doing the right things each day, placing orders, that you have a process to keep up with all your orders. Inventory management. A lot of these things you can hire out, which is what I'm trying to get across to everybody, is that if you're not going to be able to do all of this on your own, if you want to make serious money over this time period, you're not going to be able to do it all on your own. If you want to make $2 or $3 grand in December, then yeah, you're going to be able to do that. But thinking big, maybe you want to make 30 grand in December. You're not going to be able to do all that on your own. You're going to need to hire people out to do that. So is your business set up to do that? And if it's not, what are you doing between now and then to get to that point? So all these things are things that are going to be exposed when you get a ton of volume into your business. So like I said, to kind of wrap this up and bring it full circle, if you really want to be prepared, this is just David Cook's advice, but hire a couple people to start doing menial tasks for you, like inventory management, maybe put in tracking numbers, and start training people around you to do certain parts of your business so that you can focus on the bigger picture stuff. You want to be selling on both eBay and Amazon, and you want to be very, very good at them. You don't want to be learning eBay or learning Amazon or learning Elite or Unleashed, Monopoly, Genesis. You don't want to be learning those over the holiday period. You want to learn those right now. And by the time it is December, you're an expert, and you can do the things to make just a ton of money over that time period. Let's see what questions we have. Listing things for the fourth quarter, like specific things that tailor to the holidays. I would say, if it's obviously Halloween, probably the beginning of October would be a good time. Christmas, I would start listing things for Christmas, like in October. Same with Thanksgiving. I would say October in general for all the fourth quarter stuff is probably the right time to start listing stuff, just because the demand for Christmas is going to be a little higher than October or than Halloween, for instance. But people will start buying Christmas stuff at some of the craziest times. I mean, there was actually somebody on our team last year that was selling Christmas tree items after Christmas. Like in January, they were still selling Christmas stuff. So it's not really a bad time to start listing that stuff, but but I would say October for the three different holidays over the fourth quarter. Teresa, thank you. Yes, you have to, like I said, you have to be ready for that fourth quarter, and the things you do now are going to get you ready. And kind of the big takeaway is don't procrastinate, right? So if you want to be serious about this business and make a ton of money this year and absolutely change your life, there's going to be a lot of thankless things that you need to do right now that are going to actually make you a ton of money down the road, but you might not get it right now. You might not see it, but I'm telling you, all the leaders are doing a lot of the things that I talked about in this webinar. So Success Leaves Clues. There's money out there to be made, and these are the things that I've personally done to create income and be able to manage myself and manage my time. So I'm going to hang on here for about another, let's see, it's 10:32. I'm going to hang on here for about another 4 minutes. And if you guys want to post some questions either on the pin post on in the FSN or on my wall, I'll go through and check those real quick and see what we have. All right. Let us wait for questions, and if we don't have anything else, we'll cut the webinar off. But give you guys a few minutes for questions. It could be on anything that I covered. So. That was okay. That was a good question on for as far as training your potential employees that are going to work for you. I use some people use Camtasia, which works really well. I use a program called Screenpresso, where you can basically share your screen and you can show people what you're doing. So you can like walk them through exactly what you do on your screen, and people can like hear you as you're doing it. So you can like kind of talk to yourself and say, you know, I'm walking through my inventory, I'm going to click on this link, I'm going to see if this is in stock, these are the things I'm looking for to see if it's in stock. So you can kind of share your screen, record that video, and then save it and send it to whoever you have hired. So that's how I've trained all my employees. And it's worked really well. because they can go back to, it's just like the DSD training videos. They can go back to that and use that later. So I did design my own spreadsheet sheets for inventory. Basically, the only things I keep track of was the supplier price, my price on Amazon, the link. I would have a column for the link. I would have a column for like the item description. But if the bookkeeping part is hard for you, outsource it. Find somebody that has experience with bookkeeping or accounting, and outsource that. I outsourced my entire website, here I'll show it to you guys. dsdominationstrategies.com. This is my website that I built, but I didn't build it. This whole thing, I just had kind of a vision on what I wanted it to look like. It's dsdominationstrategies.com. And I just had a kind of a vision of what I wanted it to look like, and then I hired out the rest of it to somebody to build on their own. And they put a lot of time into it, but you know, I've got this beautiful website now that I didn't do anything really other than kind of give my input on how I wanted it to look. You know, they would come to me for questions and so forth as they were going through this. I did write like this part of it, but yeah, I mean, if you don't know how to do something, somebody else out there probably does. Profit on my items. My minimum is like 10% profit. So like a $30 item, I'd try and make $3. A $300 item, I'd try and make $30. But that's kind of the minimum. I really try and get between like 15 and 20% is more the optimum for me, especially when you start when you're able to do more volume, you can kind of have the flexibility to go for a higher profit. But when you're just starting, especially if you're in PayPal holds, even 25 transactions when you're breaking even is fine, because that's going to help get you out of those PayPal holds. So. Company not accepting returns. I don't think I have. One thing you could do is maybe ask the customer if they want to take a refund, and you know, give them a partial refund on the item, and they can keep it if you get in a situation where somebody wouldn't accept returns. But I don't know. Really, nobody in our training, in the DS Domination training, doesn't accept returns. So if you're using a supplier that's not in the training, I would say don't use that supplier anymore. All right, so this has been recorded. This has been fun. I'm glad you guys got a lot out of this. You learn every time you teach. So I learned something tonight, and I'm glad you guys got something out of this. So I will, let's see. I will put the recording up probably in the next 24 hours, and I'm gonna get off of here now. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch you guys later. And as I always tell my team, let's get this bread. Let's make some money. Be ready for the fourth quarter, guys. All right, I cannot emphasize that enough. You guys there's a ton of money out there for us. We just have to be ready for it. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.